Efforts to control prices and production. In the second half of the 20th century, governments undertook to control both prices and output in the agricultural sector, largely in response to the pressures of the farmers themselves. In the absence of such the control, farmers' prices tend to fluctuate more than do most other prices, and the incomes of the farmer fluctuate to an even greater degree. Not only are incomes in the agricultural unstable, but also tend to be lower than incomes in other economic sectors. The problem: stability of prices. The stability of prices results from several factors. One is the relative slowness with each farmer are able to respond to change in the demand of their product. Farmers generally most produce on the basis of expectation, and their expectation turned out wrong to be wrong. The resulting surplus or shortage cannot be connected until the beginning of the next production cycle. Once a crop is planted, very little can be done to increase or decrease production in response to market prices. As long as a price cover current operating costs, such as the cost of harvesting, it pays farmers to carry through the production plants even if prices fall to a very low level. It is not unusual for the prices for particular farm products to vary by a third or a half from a year to year. Stability of income. The stability of farm prices is accompanied by stability or farm income. While gross income from agriculture generally does not vary as much as do individual farm prices, net income may vary more than prices. In modern agriculture, costs tend to be relatively stable. The farmer is unable to compensate or drop prices by reducing his payments for machinery, fertilizer, or labor. The incomes of farm workers are generally below those of other workers. There are two major reasons for the inequity. One is that most economists, the need for farm labor is declining, and each year large number of farm people, especially young ones, must have their homes to seek jobs elsewhere. The second major reason for the income differences is that farm people generally have less education than to do non-farm people and are able to earn less of non-farm jobs. The difference in education is of long-standing and it's found in all countries. Developed and undeveloped, it is also exists whether the national education system is highly decentralized as in the United States or highly centralized as in France. Government intervention. Governments have employed various measures to maintain farm prices and incomes above what the market would otherwise have yielded. They have included tariffs or import levies, import quotas, import subsidies, direct payments to farmers, and limitations on production. Tariffs and import quotas can be effective only if a country normally imports some of its supply. Import subsidies result in the higher prices to domestic consumers than to foreign purchasers. Their use requires control over imports to prevent foreign supplies from entering the domestic market and bringing prices down. Direct payments to farmers have been used to maintain prices to consumers at reasonable levels while assuring farmers a return above world market levels. Accomplishments. The effect of price and income policies are difficult to assess. The policies have unquestionably worked to raise agricultural production in the countries where they have been applied, but their usefulness as a means of enhancing the economic well-being of farm people is debatable. The government of the industrial countries have been able to raise the returns from agriculture above the levels that would have prevailed in the absence of such intervention. The level of the income and the economic well-being of farm people in general are determined by many factors, including not only the prices they receive for their output, but also the rate at which the economy is general in growing, the ease which people can move from farm to non-farm jobs, the prices they have must pay for their productive inputs, and their level of education. With respect to the average income per person, as distinguished from total income, the prices received and paid are probably less important than the other factors mentioned. Government efforts to increase farm prices are likely to be offset in the long run by an increase in the number of persons engaged in farming, and that tends to keep the return to farm labor from rising much faster than they would in the absence of such policies. There are two reasons of believing that the income effects of highest farms prices or subsidies are relatively insignificant in the long run compared with other factors affecting incomes of farm workers. One is that an increase in farm prices include farmers to use more fertilizer, machinery, fuel and oil, and other items. If a significant part of any increase in gross income is used for such things, the absolute increase in the net farm income is much smaller than the increase in gross farm income. The second reason is that a given increase in government supported farm prices generally occurs only once. After the increase in returns has been realized, the higher farm prices contributes nothing further to incomes. In contrast, general economics grow along with the continued reduction of the farm labor force has cumulative effects and the return to farm labor. Cost. The cost of the agricultural price and income policies of industrial countries are substantial. They include not only the direct government outlays but also the increased cost to consumers in those countries, as well as the losses of development countries of potential export markets. That's all, and thank you.